Hi, my name's Brigham. I'm a second-year student in philosophy and English at the University of Windsor, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about friendships, specifically when friendships feel like they're maybe taking over our lives a little bit. Friendships are a really important part of our lives, especially when we're university college age, because we're becoming more independent and we need to learn how to balance our social lives with the rest of our lives. And sometimes we don't strike that balance very well, and the social part starts to eat up into the other parts of our lives. There are a couple ways I think this can happen typically. One is just that it's simply taking up too much time. You're spending a lot of time with friends and it's eating into other parts of your life. Things like academics or work or family or just personal time aren't getting enough attention. And that shouldn't be too hard to solve. If you just look at your schedule and say, okay, these are the days where I can go out, these are the days where I can't. Or if your friends call you up, maybe once in a while, if you don't feel like you can or should go out, just say, sorry, I have other things to do. And if you're already spending a lot of time with your friends, they should be able to understand that reasonably. And if they don't, well, that's not really your problem, is it, right? You should have friends that are considerate enough to know that there's only so much time you can give to things, especially when you have other stuff going on in your life. But there's another way in which friendships can sometimes seem like they're taking over our lives, and that's when we're just putting too much energy into a friendship. Part of what friendships are good for is lending support to each other, especially if you're a student, you might be experiencing a lot of stress, or maybe you're experiencing a lot of emotional problems. Getting support from your friends is really important in dealing with that. But there's a difference between asking for support from someone or dumping your problems on them. And if you have a friend who's constantly needs you for support, but it's more than you can give, that's a little bit of a problem for both of you, because not only is it hard for you because you have this friend who's giving you a lot of stress and a lot of issues that you can't handle or can't deal with, but they're also not getting the support that they need because you can't give it to them. If you have that kind of situation with a friend, try to confront it and say, look, I really care about you, but I don't think I can always be the one to lend you support because it's more than I can give. And it might be the case that if you have a friend who's experiencing a lot of problems, maybe they need to seek help from a professional, or at least seek help from other sources. So it's really good to care about your friends because that's part of what friendship is about, but there's only so much you can give. And if you really care about your friends and want them to get the support they need, if that's your situation with a friend, then that's what you need to do, is confront that issue to make sure that you're not getting more stress than you need, and that they have a way of handling their problems that's actually working. So remember, friendships are really valuable and really useful and really important in our lives. And there's only so much we can give, so just learn how to strike that balance in terms of the time and the energy that you give to your friendships and to your other parts of your life.